Hi, everybody. I'm at Skating PJ, and I am delighted to have you join us for the first and maybe not only annual Ice Dance Elite Holiday Party 2020 style. Here to help me kick things off, you know them, you love them. They are none other than these two from their home rink, Scarborough Ice Galaxy. This is John and Carol Lane. John and Carol, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, nice to see you again, PJ. Hi, everybody out there. Thanks for watching.
How exciting is this? I mean, when you and I put our heads together to say, what could we do that would be fun for the skating fans, for the skaters, for all of us? This was your inspiration. So, Carol, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I am.
So, I'm going to go around our virtual living room here and we're going to introduce people one at a time, starting with your coaching buddies. Wait, where are they? You know them, you love them. Marina and Eurus, thank you for joining us.
Everyone, thanks to join us.
This is Irene. I'm yours. I'm Carol's partner, in crime.
Yeah,
Irina, instructor.
You guys may have to go out and come back in again because your sound is going a little wacky, and you've also got some Christmas hats, right? So let's go around the room. We're going to continue on. Who are these two?
Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Dimitri. We're senior ice dancers at Ice Dance Elite.
Fantastic. And these two?
Hi, everyone. This is Carol.
And I'm Shane.
And we're a new addition to the IDE family this year.
It is so much fun to have you and to see you. And you're wearing matching outfits. Who doesn't love that? Here we go. Who's this?
Hi, my name is Nadia.
And I'm Peter.
And we are a junior couple at Ice Dance Elite.
And next up, we have.
Hi, everybody. I'm Emma. I'm a junior ice dancer with Michael. Hopefully, he'll be joining us soon. But yeah, so happy to be here.
I've heard that he's often on Michael time, so that's no different. Here we go. And our final Ice Dance Elite team.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, I'm Piper Gillis.
I'm Paul Purdy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
We're just meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
You know,
we're well acquainted.
We're well acquainted. Yeah.
You are well acquainted indeed. And we're well acquainted with you. So we have a special guest who decided to join us. And I'm thrilled about this because I've never met him in real life before, but I'm certainly a big fan of his work. And that's Rob Calling. Rob, introduce yourself.
Nice to meet you, PJ. Hello. I'm Rob. I work under the name The Skating Music Guy, and I'm a music editor, and I work with the skaters and with Carol to create all the music for IDE teams. And a blast it is too.
It sure is. You know what? We've got a great comment to kick things off from Skate Maven, who wants to know, where is my hat? Okay, I have a very fancy hat, but it's not Christmassy or holiday-like, so I couldn't wear it, Skate Maven. But what I did wear was this very snazzy skating sweater that was my mother's, who was a skating judge, and she used to wear the sweaters, we like to say in my family, not ironically. So, Carol, I think we're going to kick things off with, I want to be able to show people what we've been up to. We've decided that we're going to raise some money for Food Banks Canada. Can you tell people why that was the charity that we chose?
Well, back in the spring when we had the first lockdown, I started to hear this term, food insecurity. And it was a term that I'd never heard before. But it seemed that, you know, people were struggling so hard with just even basic things like being able to feed their families. And a lot of Canadian artists got together in the lockdown and put together a show on TV, which I actually watched and took donations for Food Banks Canada. And I thought that was just absolutely marvelous. So when we were thinking of, you know, how can we do some good as well as have fun on the show, that was the first thing that came to mind. And I'm just so happy that people have embraced the idea and are helping each other has become a big theme during this pandemic, I think.
Here's something that we would like to sort of be able to share with everybody. If I can get this right, we're going to share the screen every so often during this next hour so that we can see the progress that we've made. Okay, drum roll. Look at that amount. We are at, let me just see. Come on, Paige, don't do me wrong. Here we go. We are at almost $2,000. Oh. That is fantastic. Is there anything that anybody would like to say? Congratulations to all the fundraising efforts you skaters have been doing. You've been publishing this on social media. It is fantastic. So congratulations, almost $2,000. And if you feel like donating, I have published the link in our chat. It takes you straight to the page. And Carol and I both would like to thank Piper in particular, because honestly, we're not smart enough to be able to figure any of this stuff out. And Piper did it for us. So yay, Piper. Exactly. A big sort of bow of the antlers. All right, Carol, we talked about doing trivia. You're going to have this first trivia moment. Give us the question and I'll show them the picture.
Okay, so the picture that PJ is about to show you is of the British ice dancers in Geneva in 1968. Getting the Grand Slam at Worlds, coming first, second, and third. Britain was the only country other than Russia ever to have done that. In the picture on the left, you're going to see John Lane with Janet Sawbridge. Who can name the other 4 British skaters in the photograph?
And for the audience out there, you guys can chime in as well. So if you have the answer to who those 3 dance teams are, Carol gave you a bit of a gimme. The one on the left is John and his partner. Anybody else? Anybody? Oh, come on. Somebody's got to know something. Anybody know any of the people in this picture? Paul Poirier. I've been told that you are somebody who knows your skating. So anybody that you know here? I'm putting you on the spot, Paul.
It's Bernie and Diane are in fur. The team in second.
Okay, so they're the ones in the middle. That's Bernard Ford and Diane Towler. And then on the right of the page, Carol, you may have to come in and give us a hand. Who is that?
Last chance. The other 2 are Yvonne Sudick and Malcolm Cannon. Malcolm Cannon was actually, he coached me in England when I was 11 years old. Yeah.
And that's where it all started. Okay, I've got more trivia questions. And oh, look, and David Long thought that it was one of the Bradshaws. No. But nice try, David Margaret Long. And thank you for joining us. Okay, here is our next question. I've got them written down here. And because I went with the cheap trivia version online, I've got the answers, but I don't always have the reasons why. We're going to give Michael a round of applause. Michael has made it. Are you guys ready for the round of applause? Welcome, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Thank you.
Are you asleep? Are you sleeping?
No, I'm not asleep. I just finished my exam, but I'm feeling confident. So.
Congratulations. And I like the mood lighting in the background. That's fantastic. Okay, we're playing trivia. All right, Who's ready? And skaters, put your hands up if you know the answer, and whoever's first, I will go to first. True or false? The song Jingle Bells was written specifically for Christmas. Okay, Molly and Dima.
It's false. It wasn't.
You're absolutely right. Good for you. Okay, they get a point. Yes, there's no points and no prizes, but we're all very competitive. Okay, you ready? True or false? Hanukkah, and we're in the middle of it, I believe, is the most popular Jewish holiday.
Oh, no.
Piper and Paul. False? You're absolutely correct. Good for you. All right, here's another question. How many days of Kwanzaa are there?
Kwanzaa.
Shane.
6.
Beep. See, it's a cheap show. I don't have a real beep. Anybody else? Wait, we've got an answer from our audience. Skate Maven, 7, 100% correct. Yay! Skaters, hang your heads in shame. I mean, seriously, who doesn't know that? Well, I didn't know that, but that's okay.
You were close. Only one off.
And thank you, Skate Maven. Okay, what is the highest grossing Christmas movie? Molly?
The White Christmas.
I thought you was gonna say song, but maybe.
Take a guess.
Or Hank.
The Miracle on 34th Street.
No, wrong. Okay. Anybody else? Carol?
White Christmas.
Mike.
It should be, though. Some of those dresses are fantastic. Okay, anybody else?
Piper.
Is it A Christmas Story?
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys. Michael, there we go, Michael.
Home Alone.
Yes.
Home Alone.
Did you just Google it? Way to go, Michael. And you know what? You have an audience member who was also right. Nora, 100% correct. Thank you so much. And this is actually a hilarious one. Die Hard from Sandy Kovacs. Sandy, that's hilarious. Okay. This is a trick question, by the way. I got this one wrong. How many reindeer were in the story, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas?
Rudolph wasn't there, I don't think so.
Put your hand.
Who is it? Piper and Paul? Okay, Piper.
Isn't there 6?
Wrong. Beep. Nadia.
We're just saying a guess, but we're saying 9. 9.
Beep.
She said 6. It was wrong.
Anybody? Okay. Carol.
7.
Beep.
Oh.
Okay, we're gonna have to phone a friend in the audience. Steve
Darn
has
it.
it right.
8.
8. Exactly. Do you know why? Anybody know the reason why?
Because there's no Rudolph.
Yeah, there's no
You
Rudolph.
guys are so freaking smart. Exactly. Exactly. We're getting a couple of hellos from different people. Penelope and Peter are loving watching Uncle Shane and Auntie Carol. You can say hi back. And then Lisa saying hi to Molly and Dima. And look at all these people with the right answer. We had Nora. We had Susan Crosby, Red Hat Lady. Nice to have you here. Finally, David Long gets a question right. Way to go, David.
David.
And Steve Finnegan had the answer, as did Skate Maven. Thank you so much for that. Okay, I want to know, one at a time, what have you guys been up to during this pandemic? How have you been keeping busy? What's going on? Carol, shall I start with you and John?
Sure. We did lots of walking. John's been cooking up a storm, like always, making bread and mince pies, which I happen to have right here.
And we did a massive clear out of all the pictures. We've had 7 million little pictures down in the basement, and we slowly sifted through a lot of them.
Yes.
And we've actually put them into chronological order, starting from BC and working our way up.
Very clean house now. Yeah.
Okay, Carol and Shane, what about you guys?
Well, we moved.
Okay.
And then I biked a lot. And then
Oh god. Oh, I started actually a real estate course, which I am still doing. But I started at the beginning of the quarantine, and then we moved, and we were actually pretty busy. We didn't really have time to get bored.
yeah, too much.
Okay, Molly and Dima.
You go first.
I've been doing a lot of DIYs and embroideries, and this is one right here.
Woo!
Not finished yet, but yeah.
And I seem to have gone into golfing a lot because it was one of the first things that was still open during quarantine. So me and the boys have been going over there, hitting the balls.
I like his task.
Fantastic. Okay, Nadia and Peter.
Well, we started off by keeping active.
I was on the bike a lot of the time.
Yeah, I ran a lot, and we kept busy at home, like doing dancing, ballet, everything. I mean, I got into learning about crystals and herbology. I don't know, have you found anything during quarantine?
But I've made friends with my doppelganger. Yeah, that's basically what we did.
Yeah.
So,
Fantastic. Emma, what about you?
Basically just like spending a lot of time with my family. One thing that I started doing a lot was I've been sewing since I was really young, but I started getting into it a lot more during quarantine because I just had so much time. So I've been making clothes and mostly just spending a lot of time with my sisters, though I have 3 sisters. Hi, if you're watching.
Okay, Piper and Paul.
Well, we had our little COVID quarantine walk every Saturday together because we live so close to each other. But I did a lot of road biking, which is something that I got into for COVID, and I did a lot of puzzles, So yeah, that was pretty much what I did.
I was thesis writing all summer, so I was pretty holed up. Other than the training that was happening day to day, that was kind of most of my evenings and weekends and that sort of thing.
Michael. What have you been up to?
A lot of self-reflection. I feel like before there was not a lot of time to really reflect on yourself. So I feel like I had a lot of time to kind of figure out who I was and what I wanted to do. So yeah.
That's wonderful. Irina and Eurus. Whoops. I just pressed the wrong button. That's what happens. You guys, what have you been up to?
Well, I was lucky enough, so I will still be able to teach the office classes on Zoom. Spend a lot of time with the family. We also did a lot of puzzles. What else? Walking, running by the lake. We're lucky we live close to Ontario Lake, so we had that opportunity to spend so much time outdoors.
Done a few things around the house. Got rid
So
of
it's been
of the house and paint the house. I don't know.
all of the house stuff. And Rob, what have you been up to?
Well, I've got to say that my job takes place in a studio where no one else is. So it was pretty much exactly the same as it was before lockdown, really. The only difference was that my busy time of year happened in a different place, because normally it's in the spring, and this summer, I don't know, it seems to have, IDE skaters aside, because you guys were all really well behaved, everybody else seems to have gone, well, okay, we can't go in the rink, so we'll just not think about music until around June, when everybody thought about music all at once and freaked the living daylights out of me by sending all of their stuff to me all at the same time. But yeah, that's been about it, really. It's just
Tell
been
me
work,
a little
same
bit
as
about
always.
your process, because Carol and Piper and Paul and the gang sort of all became acquainted with you. But what is your process for coming up with music? I mean, the Both Sides Now, fantastic. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Both Sides Now was a little atypical. Usually, well, it varies for other skaters, because I work for a number of skaters all around the world, and the process is different for each skater and each coach. But in the case of IDE skaters, Carol, it's usually you who does the, as you put it, knife and fork job, which I think is slightly doing yourself down, the rough cut. It's almost as if Carol hasn't been editing music for years and years and isn't really good at it. But anyway, yeah. So I get the rough cut from Carol, and then it's my job to sort of see if I can spot any places where it can be improved, where things can flow into each other a bit better, and then take care of making everything as fluid and as flowing as I possibly can, and then take care of the mix so that it all sounds perfect on the ice. Both Sides Now was radically different, because that, in common with a few of the ones that P2 and I and Carol have worked on together, that sort of started with a much more sort of almost nebulous idea. The idea was definitely we wanted to use that piece of music, but as to how we were going to achieve the tempo change and all the other bits and pieces that make it legal for ice dance, that was a bit more up in the air. So that one started with phone calls, which most programs don't. But I think we all pretty much had the same idea quite early on, which was to put that waltz section at the beginning. I remember being on the phone to Paul, and the two of us we sort of almost both asked the question at the same time. So what do you want to do? And he was like, well, I think we should have the change of tempo section at the beginning before everything else starts. And I was like, yes, that would be great. Why don't we do a waltz? And he was like, yeah, I was just about to say, why don't we do a waltz? So yeah, we did a waltz. It seemed obvious, really. Yeah, it just went on from there. I did like a rough version of that waltz, sort of composed what lines were going to go where, and then we brought in our tame orchestral arranger, Jim. I've never worked with an orchestral arranger before, but first time for everything. And he did a great job of taking my basic arrangement and turning it into some Disney castle thing with all the bells and whistles on. And it was great. We sent that off to a real live orchestra in Eastern Europe, and they did us proud. And then it was my job to take 579 channels of audio and fit them all back together again into something that worked in an ice rink.
What I want to know is there the same amount of swearing in editing audio as there was with me editing that video? Just asking.
More. I would almost guarantee it. More. Whatever your amount of swearing is, my amount of swearing is nearly always more. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Guys, I want all of the skaters to please give me one word or one phrase that describes your connection to music and skating. So Molly and Dima, you get to go first because you're first up in my screen here.
What do you want? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I guess power.
Okay. It gives you power, it gives you strength.
Yeah, like if the music is really powerful, I find it really helps me and motivates me to skate powerful and
By the way, there are greetings here from everybody in the UK. I'm going to bring up the greetings sort of as I talk to people. So my next people that I want to ask the question to are Carol and Shane. And you've got somebody who wants to say hi to you too.
Hey, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
So tell me a little bit about your connection to music.
One word. One word. So you.
Yeah, it's very hard to choose one. I mean, we've always been a team that really enjoys like funny and dancing. I think this is one of our strengths. So I would say maybe we get a lot of energy from music.
Terrific. Molly and Deem, I've got to come back to you for one quick second because I forgot this message.
Oh, it's my nana and my G-dog.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to Nadia and Peter. You guys tell me your connection to music.
You say.
No, you say.
Well, so for us, it's like I feel like we're both very passionate about music, and we're passionate in different ways. But we always find the music that we both find passionate, and we can create the chemistry on the ice and like the power, everything. Like
So I think what it's saying in short is passion.
Passion is a great word. I mean, seriously. I want to also make sure that Rob, you see that the love is coming your way too. Hang on one sec. Longtime skating fan, Elizabeth Cardoza Taylor. Great to see you, especially
Hello,
you.
Elizabeth. Yes.
Rather than
nice
just
to see you as well. Yes. We've
reading your
exchanged tweets many times.
I know she's the best that way, isn't she? Okay.
She is.
So now here's my next victim, and that is Emma. Emma, tell me about music and your connection to skating.
Yeah, so I think for me the word would be character because like take our free dance for example, I'm playing the character of Mary Poppins and Michael is Jack, and it's just so much fun for me to have that like character element to the music that I can portray when I'm skating. It gives me more, like it makes it just more fun for me because I just put on like my Mary hat and then I am just acting like her for the program, and it just makes it like, more fun.
Amazing. Michael, I'm coming to you next. What's your connection with music and your programs?
It's a emotion. It's got to have some kind of emotion that I can kind of tune into for me really to connect to the skate.
Terrific.
So yeah, emotion.
Piper and Paul.
I have one that comes to mind. It might be different for Paul. I just feel like it's freedom. Like when you get on the ice and the music starts, it's like you can lose yourself in it, and then you just become other people, and you feel so free to do whatever you want and be whoever you want. So
And
it's like that.
and this is a great comment coming from James. They love watching your unique and whimsical programs. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays to you too, James. Whimsical. That is a great word. Paul, how would you describe your connection to music?
I'm just going to steal Piper's word because trying to get me to say one word is impossible.
How about one thought?
Ooh.
Come on, you can do it. Do it for Pete.
I think our approach to choreography and selecting music and selecting themes and things, it's very exploratory. I think we always kind of start with the question, what is possible? What can we do? What can we explore that we've never tried before? And that's what I enjoy about our work with music, is that we get to experience all these different kinds of music through our skating.
Cool. Carol and John, obviously, you know, as skating coaches, as skaters, we all love music. So tell me about your connection and what it was like to find Rob.
Well, Rob is my second internet romance. Eurus being my first, of course. And Rob and I actually connected when he was doing the music for Helsinki Worlds a couple of years ago. And he was tweeting, as you say, and I had followed him on Twitter, not really knowing who he was or anything about him. And he was asking for music suggestions for things to play on the practices at Worlds. So of course I thought that was great. So I started sending him little tweets back and forth, and we started doing that. And it was that was how we sort of connected. And I thought, oh, we kind of think alike, you know. We seem to be very much on the same wavelength. And for me, it's very much all about the idea. You know, I get a thing in my head that I want to do, and then I have to think about it for a long time and figure out how I'm going to do it. And Rob has been really great for me because he understands that process for me. When I talk to him, the stuff that he comes back to me with helps me a lot. Just because we're very, I think, similarly oriented in that way.
About me.
You know what, John, anything to add?
Yeah. Talking about with Carol, what she's saying, I would love to go to a movie or a party or anywhere, a pub, without Carol hearing something going, this is going to be great for Shane or Bima. You know, for Christ's sake, I've just spent $50 on a ticket for the movie. She never sleeps. It's always listening and always getting the ideas. I think she got the other free dance coming back on a plane from somewhere or other.
Hitchcock.
That was
Hitchcock.
Yeah, that was Hitchcock. The plane
Wait,
crash.
I'm doing my Hitchcock impression.
Minor detail.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, we're going to have to say goodbye to Rob, who is nowhere near us at the moment. Where are you, Rob?
I am in the middle of a forest in eastern Finland.
Oh,
so
lovely.
Forgive any delay on the video. It's coming a long way to get to you.
Well, just before you go, I want to be able to share some super exciting news, and that is that our donations have gone up again. And thanks to Asher Hill, who's just popped in to say hi. He said that he was going to donate, and he did. Bless his heart. So hang on one sec. $2,064. Honestly, out there in skating world, you guys rock. Thank you so much for doing this, for donating. It means the world. So congratulations. Rob, thank you so much for joining us. You were fantastic. Skaters, let's give him a great big one kiss like that. 1, 2, 3. Bye, Rob. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's really lovely to meet you all. Thank you so much.
Bye for now. Happy holidays.
Bye-bye. You too. Merry Christmas and all the best. See you.
Whew. We're already halfway through our holiday party. Who can believe that? Anybody? Nobody?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Indeed. So we've got lots of people who are online, and we've got Chris Beaumont from the UK. Really nice to see you all. Nice to see you guys too. Kathy Adams, you're right. John is hilarious. We've known Kathy, of course, for a gazillion years. And Emma, this one's for you. It's your Nana. I wanted to make sure that we all got a chance to say hi back and forth with the people who are joining us. Asher Hill from Battle of the Blade.
Hi,
Asher.
Thanks for donating.
Thanks for donating, indeed. And Asher is a alumnus from Ice Dance Elite.
Yes, he is.
I think we've got another guest who's going to be joining us shortly, and that's another one of your coaching buddies. So let's go, though we're going to talk a little bit more about sort of skating. And do you guys feel still involved in skating in the same way that you were, let's say, a year ago? Who wants to go first?
it's a different type of connection. I feel like we've created more of a deeper connection with our teammates because we've bubbled so much. We haven't really been able to spend much time outside our bubble, so I think it's been really nice to be able to create that connection between all of us and support each other through this crazy time. Yeah, that's what I think.
Marc-André Servant is just joining us right now. I wanted to make sure that I got him in here. Hooray! Nice to see you. If it turns
Hi,
out
Mark.
that you're,
Hey,
if
how's it
you're,
going? It's nice to see everyone.
nice to see you too. Okay, this is super important because it's about food and drink. And I have been able to, as I like to put on the COVID-19, I'm currently obsessed with holiday baking. But the other thing that's super important during the holidays, hot chocolate.
Oh, yes.
John, tell me a little bit about your recipe.
Actually, it's cheating because since we spend millions of bucks with Loblaws, they send you this box full of bits and pieces at Christmas.
Insider's report.
Yeah, insider's report. And one of the things was a nice hot chocolate recipe. And so I had a bash at it and it was really good. And it was using coconut milk, not ordinary milk. And it was really tasty.
Well, let's take a look, everybody. Carol was able to capture this on video, and we are going to have a quick look at John's hot chocolate recipe. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. John's here to make his world famous hot chocolate recipe, which is a President's Choice Insider's one. You can see it sitting there. Go, Johnny.
The hot chocolate goes in first. I keep the fork in there so that the glass doesn't crack, because if it's too hot too quick.
I believe you're making that with coconut milk, are you not?
Yes.
Coconut
milk and hot chocolate. Next goes the whipped cream.
Oh my goodness. That looks too good to be true. Thanks, I get the first one.
And we plonk on the top of that some roasted coconut. And we plonk on the top of that some chocolate shavings, which is what Carol said it is. To finish it off is a raw egg. No, I'm joking, there is no raw egg. But there you go, guys, so enjoy.
Yes, go on, John, take a swig. Let's see. Is it good? Is it good? Oh, raspberry hot chocolate with shredded coconut. Ooh, yum. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
You know what, guys? We all should be spending that much money at Loblaws to be able to get free raspberry hot chocolate. I thought it was going to be some sort of fancy hot chocolate, but you know what, John, you did very well, and your presentation was particularly good. Well, here comes another hot chocolate. First of all, Linda says that looks really good, and then KO Tina hot chocolate from Switzerland, but probably not as good as John's. Philip, I think you're probably right. I mean, truth be told. And here's a comment from Asher. Paul is currently drinking a Negroni. I'm not sure. I'd like that you'd like to know, but that looks way better. Paul, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, so one of the things that Asher and I have bonded over in recent times post his retirement has been Negroni. So Asher, I hope you're enjoying.
I don't even know what Negroni is.
Ooh, it's good.
It's an Italian drink, and it's gin, Campari, and vermouth.
You had me at gin. You had me at gin.
And it's very bitter, and I had one when we were at Worlds in Milan, and it looks very enticing because it's red and pretty, but it's very bitter. So I remember Nam tried some and sort of spat it out in disgust.
Is it as fancy as my sweater?
Naturally.
Nothing. Your sweater, PJ. Nothing.
I know. Seriously. So can we go around the room? And Marc-André, I want to start with you. What is one of your favorite holiday memories?
Ooh, definitely just like spending time with my family. Cooking with my mom is definitely a family Christmas tradition. That's something that we do. So setting up the whole meal, whether it's meat or non-meat, depending on what people eat. Yeah, that's been a favorite thing of mine, is cooking with my family.
What's your favorite recipe, or your recipe of that you're so good at?
Something, well, maybe not so good that, but something that I know that I would love to master is my a tourtière, a French Canadian traditional meat pie. And I would love to just continue to learn from her and learn all of her recipes that she creates.
Tortilla is one of my favorites. Just in case you guys didn't know, one of my most treasured recipes is toast. But during the Christmas holidays, I put red and green sprinkles on. Carol, you know what? You and I, we've known each other for a long time. We're very much the same kind of person. Everybody else, let's go just around the room and give me one of your favorite holiday memories. Irina and Yuris, I'm going to start with you guys.
You're on the spot.
You're on mute.
Oh, they're on mute. Hold on. I bet you it's good. Let's just make up the words. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so guys, my favorite holiday will be to having family over. We have a big family living all around the world. So to have everybody here, or at least some of our family members, parents here with us, it's the best holiday gift we can have. So yeah, my parents
we
over.
basically start celebrate at 4 o'clock with the Russian time, and then we just moving along.
You know what? You know what I know
So
is that
by the
Russians
midnight,
love New
we're like,
Year's.
Yes.
Lots of cooking.
That's wonderful. Okay, Michael, what about you?
Table, a lot of people around the table. That's the favorite part. Yeah.
Michael, what about you? Your favorite holiday memory?
Oof, I'm lagging so bad.
We were.
Say it one more time. Michael?
Me? Oh, favorite holiday memory, right?
Yep.
I want to somebody else. My Wi-Fi's correct.
Whoops. Something about your Wi-Fi. We're going to leave you for just a second, Michael. We're going to go to Emma. Emma, what about you? Your favorite holiday memory?
Yeah, so I think mine would have to be, so like 4 years ago, I think it was 2016, we did like a family road trip to New York at Christmas time. And we skated at the Rockefeller Center, with like the big tree and everything. And it was already, that would be my favorite Christmas memory. It was so much fun. But while I was skating around, there was like a Santa who was on the ice too, and he came over to me, and I guess he could tell that I was a skater. And so he just started like dancing around with me and lifting me up, and it was like it was so much fun. It kind of felt like a movie.
What about you guys?
There, we unmuted. Yeah, for me, everyone knows that food is a way to my heart. So for us, Christmas revolves around family time and food. And on Christmas Day, I sort of get the double whammy where we do a traditional Guyanese Christmas meal in the morning. And then at night, during the day, we drive to Cornwall to see the rest of my family, and we do a traditional French Canadian Christmas dinner. And I get really full and I eat too much food. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Your greetings, by the way, from Laura.
Sorry?
Your greetings from Laura for you guys.
Oh, hello, Laura.
And Piper, you tell me one of your favorite memories.
I don't know if I have a favorite memory, but again, I have a lot of siblings, and my mom loved to cook and bake, and like we would spend like a whole week before Christmas baking whatever. So yeah, like I think that's one of my most favorite memories, again, is like the week leading up to Christmas, because you eat a lot of treats and it's great and merry.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nadia and Peter.
So for me, I don't really celebrate Christmas, but back in Ukraine, we used to celebrate New Year's with my whole family. And if anybody's watching, and I just remember the whole preparation, like while I helped mom cook dinner before New Year's. I just love the feeling. It's like
Amazing.
so
Peter,
festive.
what about you?
So for me, this year, this Christmas is going to be a bit different. It's going to be my first one away from my family. Obviously, with COVID, things haven't gone as planned. But yeah, I'm looking forward to experiencing it with Nadia. But as Christmas memories go, I'd say that this past Christmas from last year was the most memorable one. Last seeing all my family, and of course, like for me, visiting my family only twice a year. Every time we meet is always a big event. Everyone makes a big deal out of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to spending it with Nadia this year. But yeah, I enjoyed Christmas.
Molly and Dima.
Wait.
A Christmas memory for me would be maybe a few years ago. Me and my mom, my dad, and my brother, and my aunt and uncle and cousins. We all flew back to Moscow to stay at my grandparents' house, and we did like a big family Christmas. And I was pretty young back then with everyone, so it was pretty fun opening like presents in Russia and experiencing like a traditional Russian Christmas. But my family's gotten a lot bigger since I got together with Molly, so every Christmas so far has been like pretty epic every year, experiencing it with Molly.
Amazing. Molly, what about you?
Obviously, my favorite Christmases are at home with my family in England. But we always joke that my dad, he always likes to set our table on Christmas Eve with tons and tons of food that he makes you think to feed the entire of Doncaster. In reality, it's just the 5 of us, and then my grandparents and like my closest aunts and uncles come over, and we have lots of leftover food thanks to my dad. But
pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good spread he puts on.
That's great. Carol and Shane in the matching jammies.
Yeah. I guess my favorite memory would probably be decorating the Christmas tree with my family. That was always fun. We put on Christmas music, normally like Santa Baby, and like dress up the tree, listen to that song. But you?
For me, it was always cooking with my mom and my grandma. It's always been the preparation that was my favorite part. And then, of course, for the past 4 years, I've been having the chance to spend it with Shane. So I would say that's like one of my favorite things, is spend Christmas with him and his family and my family, and just all the food and everything. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays.
Fantastic. Carol and John.
Well, I would have to, I'm with Shane on this one. If you see our Christmas tree right here behind us, it goes back to almost the first year we were in Canada. We have an ornament for every year that we've been here, which is 36 years.
Wow.
2020.
Yeah, well, no, we actually have got one for 2020. But we're the same. We put on the Christmas music, we drink copious amounts of sherry, and decorate the tree, and then of course we watch Love Actually, because who doesn't, right? And we've done it every year for years.
We have ornaments on there I've got one on there for my son, but it was like
grade 4.
A peg that looks like a soldier, and stuff for my dad. We've got stuff pretty well from everybody on there.
So it's a memory tree, really.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
One other thing that obviously spending the time with my wife, and this is my family here on this TV.
And you, John.
I would love, and definitely my
and
son
Amanda,
and all the
Bernie,
kids.
and Evan. Yes.
I'd love to go to the Rideau Canal while it's frozen. I'd love to skate up that sucker. Maybe do a European waltz. How many loaves do you think you could get in on that?
We've never done that. We've never skated on the canal.
I've never skated on the Rideau.
Okay, what exactly is that? John, you've been here long enough. We have to correct you. It's Rideau. It's the Rideau. There's no Rideau. You've been here 35 years, 37 years. You would have thought it's Rideau, but that's okay. Yeah.
PJ.
You know me.
I would like to track our favorite.
Well, not
Christmas. We're going to end edition. Carolyn John's Christmas party.
Yes.
Favorite holiday.
All the time in Carolyn John's basement with all the people.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for parties. And somebody else is a big Love Actually fan. Daphne wants to know, how is it possible when you're only 35, Carol? Bless you, Daphne. We love you.
That's my best friend. We've been friends since we were 7 years old. We skated together at Streatham in England. Lots of you know her.
Do you know what's so wonderful is that skating is like a family, and I am friends. Well, you and John and I started off our coaching careers, in Canada together. John had already been coaching, and I started coaching around the same time. We were at the same rink. We look basically the same. I mean, that's the part that's so exciting about all of this. Listen, guys, I have another exciting bit of news. We're only going to do this 2 more times, one right now to show us where we're at in our donations. So let me just show you're going to be astounded with huge thanks to everybody. And then there's a great question that's coming up. But first of all, let's take a look. $2,179.75. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
That is awesome.
Thank you to everybody out there who's been donating. We've got another sort of couple of quick questions. One is, it's one of my favorite questions in interviews. I want you guys to each give me, it was, okay, hang on. It came up here in the chat. It's from Grant Naroyan, who's a great skating fan. What can we look forward to this season from each of you? I know it's not a lot of competition, but what are the sorts of goals that you're making for yourselves this season? Molly Deem, I'm going to go to you first.
You want to take it?
Yeah, sure. Well, so we haven't gotten the chance to compete much this season, obviously. So it's been just a really big season for us to just work on ourselves and how we train and just improving our training together.
Matching more,
Yeah.
becoming more one.
Lots of stroking and stuff.
That's great. Carol and Shane. And thank you, Grant, for the question, by the way.
I mean, for us, there's a lot of things and wanted to accomplish this season. Obviously, we didn't get to do really any competitions, but with the change of teams and of coaches, we had a lot to look forward to. And I think just enjoying training, like we haven't really had that opportunity in the past a little bit. It was a bit more difficult, and coming here to Toronto really opened our eyes to how training can be so fun and fulfilling like it was at the beginning, and lots of technical stuff, of course, but the main thing was, just the energy we can bring every single day that makes a difference at the end.
Fantastic. Nadia and Peter.
So you go ahead, because I always start.
Well, so I think we sort of thought about at the beginning of this season, we had a lot of time to think about it with quarantine, which makes sense, that we wanted to step up our maturity and how we look across the ice. So I think
just stepping up our skating in general, looking more powerful, and we're like really focusing on to bringing the stories on the ice. So we just yeah.
Fantastic. Emma.
So I think sort of the main thing that we've been focusing on is our consistency, and just we've done like kind of 3, not really competitions, but like performances technically. So we did the next gen camp, sectionals, and now challenge. And we've just been focusing on just improving every single competition and getting our levels. And it's hard to sort of look at like the placements from competitions and the scores. So we're mainly just looking at like making sure that we're consistent with all of our elements, whether it's in training or in competition too.
Michael.
I'm gonna look at the kind of junior perspective because we're very new to this junior, and it was a very big. I'm not lagging again.
No, you're good.
Okay. It was very big. Okay, good. It was a very big step up, and I think we learned a lot of skating aspects along the way of what the expectation is to be junior.
Fantastic. Piper and Paul.
So we had some pretty fun programs planned for this season that we were starting to work through.
Yeah.
Kind of at the end of last season, as we were leading up to Worlds, we're always thinking ahead. And as the pandemic hit, those programs went in the garbage can. But on the flip side, you get to look forward to seeing Mac and Mabel and Both Sides Now for one more season. We've been trying to make some film content, and hopefully we'll get a chance to share some more videos of those programs before the end of this season.
Fantastic. Marc-Andre, because we haven't heard from you very much, what are your goals for the skaters this season? I know there's no competitions really. So what are your goals? What do you keep in mind?
I think the most important thing right now is the growth of the skaters and seeing them grow as not only as athletes and whatnot, but as individuals. And throughout all of this trying time, everything that we're going through, seeing who they are as people and the strength to take to commit to what they're doing, I think that's honestly been amazing to see. And I think that we have to just take what we've been learning throughout this entire process and grow from it.
Amazing. Carol, I didn't know this about Grant. Grant is not only a huge fan, but he was a 3-time national competitor in the States.
Oh,
And he taught with Daphne in Virginia and worked with Kay Barsdell and Ken Foster in New York and started his dance career with Peter Dalby. There's a name blast from the past, who you know them all very well. Isn't it funny? It's just such a great small world.
it is. It really is. And I think that's actually one of the things, as we sort of move forward into 2021, we should appreciate how much stronger our connections have all become because of this pandemic. It's been one of the pluses for me, not just in skating terms, but even in my little neighborhood. I live in a very small subdivision, only 3 streets. And we had our own Facebook page. Somebody said, let's do a Facebook page. And now we have a whole bunch of friends in the neighborhood that we only knew to wave to as we drove past in the car before. So I think that has been, I think the kids have all said that. We've become a very, very, even more than we were, cohesive group, and have really, on the days when people are struggling, other people step up to cheer them on and vice versa. And I think we, in the big picture, it's taught us a lot about what it really means to be human and a good human and a good person.
We've learned to rely on each other.
Yes.
Which in the past, it wasn't as important, but now
it really is. Yes.
It is
Can I just say one more thing?
Of course, John.
That ginger guy that's with that girl, he's got a really sexy accent. I'd just like to know where he comes from.
John is out of control. Out of control.
Always.
Speaking of gingers, Stephen Belanger, it's so nice to have you along. And you know what? Nora is agreeing with you. So right, Carol, you absolutely are. So before I get into my final question, Carol, do you have any wishes for for our audience out here for 2021? Is there anything that you can say that's encouraging to the skaters who are trying to sort of stay in the sport? Anything that you can sort of say on behalf of all of us and on behalf of you and your team at Ice Dance Elite?
I think what we will take away from this is by not being able to compete, we've really realized how much we love it. And one of the things I've tried to say to the kids is, every time you skate now, even when you're making a video or you're just skating a run through for me or whatever, it's another chance for people to fall in love with you. And we should all try to fall in love with each other, because that's the very best thing about being human.
You know what? That's fantastic. Okay. It's going to be a quick rapid fire, and each of the 10 windows that are open. Imagine that you've had your vaccine. The pandemic is over. We are back out walking among the humans. What is the thing you are most looking forward to? Can I tell you what mine is? I'll go first, since I haven't been going first at all. I'm really looking forward to meeting a friend for a coffee in a coffee shop and just being able to linger there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Okay, John and Carol, you get to go next.
Yes, I agree with that. One of the joys of going to the mall for me was being able to go in, buy my coffee, walk round, enjoy being in the shops, linger. And yes, I would agree with you. I'm looking forward to doing that too. Just the very simple things that we took for granted.
Yeah, just going out and not being scared to say hello to somebody in case you were going to catch something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Irina and Uris.
You go ahead.
Well, I can't wait to go back to the rink and work with everyone in person, not just on Zoom. That's my...
Not the virtual.
Yeah.
I forgot.
And see everybody
Got
and
it.
give everybody a hug and not be, yeah. That's what I want.
Hugging.
Hugging is
Hugging is perfect. That's okay. That's really number one on my list, not the coffee shop. Marc-Andre, what about for you?
I'm gonna be greedy. I want two things. I love all
Okay.
of you, but I want my bubble to extend a little bit more again, see some more family and friends as much as I love you. And the second thing is, you know what? It doesn't even matter. That one was enough.
You know what? That's great. Michael.
God, I don't even know. Like everything, I feel like everything has been different since COVID-19 started. So, you know, just for things to go back to being normal would really be great.
But that's good enough. Emma.
I really want to see my grandparents. I haven't been able to see them in person since like March, so I think they're all watching. But yeah, I really want to see them and hug them and not be, nervous to go around them.
That's
That's probably
wonderful.
the main thing.
Piper and Paul.
There you go.
I think for me, being able to see my family again, being able to hug them and see them in person. And I'm really missing the travel aspect. We're so used to traveling from competition to competition, but just being able to fly somewhere and just being able to enjoy a new space, I think is what I'm looking forward to.
What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I have lots of people I would like to see and hug, as Piper said. I think for me, number one is my nephew, who was born not that long before the pandemic started. So he's growing so much, and I've just kind of been able to experience it from afar.
Fantastic. Nadia and Peter.
As soon as you said something that I'm looking forward to, this is gonna sound crazy, but I miss looking at people and smiling at them and them knowing that I'm smiling at them.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just looking at them.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. What about you, Peter?
I'd say for me, the first thing obviously is to see my family, since I haven't seen them all since like last year. But another thing that I'm really looking forward to, and that I'm not going to miss, is forgetting a mask when I leave.
I feel your pain. Yep.
So-
I agree with you. Carol and Shane.
Yeah, I agree with what Peter just said. Like, sometimes I go out and I just can't believe that I still forget my mask after 6 months. And I go to the corner to get my coffee, and I'm like, oh, damn. And then I have to walk back. And also, yeah, like everything everyone said, just seeing people smile and not scared, just talking to each other, especially, I guess, Shane too. He just likes to talk to strangers.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just
talk to strangers anymore.
it's just so different now. You just can't make new friends, and we're so happy also to come here and have that opportunity to. Well, we have our family now at the really we make new friends, but also friends outside and just meet people.
That's fantastic. Molly and Dima.
I'm really excited to go back home and see all my family. That's the first thing I'm going to do the moment I get the opportunity to. And also, the seniors, we like going out and dancing together, and I'm really craving a good dance with everyone to good music.
Do you know what? That is wonderful. I am so excited to have talked to you. And before we say goodbye to everybody,
Can I make an important addition?
Sure, go.
Very important. So the other thing that is super important that I'm so looking forward to, and all of my small bladdered friends can appreciate, is having public bathrooms open again. I cannot tell you how important this is.
Do you know what? I feel your bladder pain. I totally get that, Paul. Thank you so much. It's one of the things I have to think about before I leave, for heaven's sakes.
Exactly.
Here is a great wish from Nora Hollins. Onwards and upwards, keep up the good work and best wishes. Stay safe, and let's hope 2021 is a better year. There is no doubt in my mind it's going to be. I want to be able to share for one last time the fantastic news that we have over on our donations board, and that is $2,308.50. Honestly, everybody, you all deserve a round of applause out there who have donated. This is absolutely fantastic news. You have been stellar. I want to have this last moment just to be from John and Carol. I want you to talk to me a little bit about what Ice Dance Elite means to you.
Well, we just shot our challenge videos and they were actually done at Scarborough for the first time in a long time, a very long time. And I was standing with Ron Conacher, who was the judge who was sort of supervising to make sure everything was okay. And he's known everybody since they were little. He actually judged Paul's pre-novice dance test. So
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
that's how far we go back. And if you've ever been to Scarborough or seen our pictures, you'll know that on the wall we had boards from sort of the beginning of the program, sort of right through pretty much to the present day. And he was looking at the boards, and we were going through all the people, you know, from years ago. And he said, you know, this is sort of totally amazing. And I just said to him, yes, it's our life. That's our life in pictures. Our life has been, I can see my memories through those boards, you know, in so many ways.
And we relate to every one of those pictures. Doesn't matter how long ago.
Yeah.
We know exactly where we were and what was going on.
And we're still in touch with so many of the kids, you know, from years ago. That's also great too, watching everybody grow up and
they've all got kids,
go off and have wonderful lives and family.
Yep.
It's a real sense of community.
It is a wonderful sense of community. It's one of the things that makes skating so special. It's one of the things that I've really found out during this pandemic is that you can take us off the ice, but you can't take us out of the ice. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's still here. So we promised that we would make this broadcast an hour. We've gone almost 4 minutes over. I cannot believe it. I want to say to everybody, thank you so much for joining us and for your very generous donations. Please, if you can donate, please go ahead and do so. The link is in the chat. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. This has been a wonderful holiday party from Ice Dance Elite, and we'll see you again. I'm Skating PJ. Bye for now.